What is up, fishing world? Trevor Wagner coming back at you again. It's Tackle Tip Tuesday. Today, I want to talk to you about maybe not tackle tip, but more of a fishing tip, and that is confidence. Today, I want to talk to you guys about confidence and what that really means when you're out there fishing. Because you hear some of these guys that'll get on YouTube, they'll get your pros, and they'll be like, "Oh man, if you're struggling to catch fish, man, just get your confidence bait out and start throwing that around." Well, why is that? Why is it that when we pick up something that we're confident in, do we tend to catch more bass? And does it really work? So that's what we're going to talk about today is confidence when you're fishing. You hear people talk about it all the time. Now, I'm going to relate this to if you watched last Friday's video, the video that was talking about Alan Henry, my spotted bass dink fest, where I was catching spotted bass like crazy. Well, I was not alone that day because in that video, Scott was out there fishing with me. Now, my friend Scott and I were out fishing. A lot of times we go fishing together, we complement each other because we'll throw different things to try to find the pattern, and then the other person will usually pick up and be like, all right, so that's the pattern, so I'm going to go grab that bait and we're going to throw it around, and we'll usually catch fish together once we figure out the pattern. Well, that didn't quite happen this last time when we were out fishing. So we were out and I started to catch fish. First it was on top water, and then I caught some on a jerk bait, and then I caught some on a crankbait, and then I caught them on a buzz bait. I was catching them many different ways. And every time I was catching them, I was telling Scott, hey, this is what I just caught him on in this area. This is what I caught him in this area. And he would put those in his hands. I'm not saying he's not confident in the baits I throw, because Scott's a good fisherman too, and he catches them and he can use all the baits as well. So I would catch him, he would come over that area, throw the same bait, get nothing, and I would catch them. So did I have more confidence than him? Was I luckier than him? So what does it come down to sometimes when we're out there fishing? And so I look at it as it is confidence, because you need to be competent and have confidence in the baits that you are throwing. Now, the other thing that a lot of people don't talk about is nuances. So when I'm talking about nuances with a bait, I'm talking about how your reel speed is, how you hold your rod up. There's different things. No two anglers are the same. And this past week, that really put it to focus with me and Scott, is we could throw the same baits in the same area, and I was catching them and he wasn't. So again, it was confidence, because I was confident in every bait I was throwing. He's competent in the baits that he was using, but the little nuances that I do with my confidence baits, I think were the key piece for that day, and why I was able to boat a few more fish than he did. And so the nuances of my rod tip position, my retrieval speed, how I was twitching my rod for the jerk bait, how I was twitching the rod for my walking baits coming across, all play a difference. They're all factors when we're out there fishing, and we all do things a little different. Now, eventually, Scott did get on to some fish, and what did he get him on with? One of his baits that he's gained a lot of confidence with, which is basically Texas rigging a creature bait and just dragging it across the bottom. Now, if it was a competition between him dragging a creature bait and me dragging a creature bait, he's going to beat me, because I'm not really big at dragging stuff across the bottom. I'm good at jig fishing, and I can throw a Texas rig and I can do all that, but that's not where my confidence is. I'm competent in doing it, but it's not my confidence. So that's kind of what I was getting at with me and Scott fishing before. I was able to fish a lot of the baits that I have really good confidence in, and he is competent in throwing them, but they might not be his confidence baits. And so that was really where it boiled down to. When we're out there fishing, you could be competent in throwing all the different baits, all these baits that you see behind me, all the baits back over here underneath here that you see. You can be competent in throwing everything that a fisherman can throw when they're bass fishing. But it doesn't mean that you have the confidence every time you pick it up that man, if I just lock this in my hand, I know if there's fish in this area, I'm going to catch them. That's the difference. See, being competent is there's fish in that area, and I know if I throw a Texas rig, I may or may not catch it. Or if I throw a jig over there, I may or may not catch it. But in my heart of hearts, I'm like, man, if I throw that crankbait on, or I put that jerk bait on, and I put that bait in front of them, I know I'm going to catch that bass over there. So that's really the big difference. You can have the competence of making sure, hey, I'm throwing this bait, I know the line, I know the reel, I know the retrieval speed, I know how to twitch it, I know how to work it, and I can kind of catch bass that way. But I might not have the confidence knowing that I know for a fact I can catch that bass, as opposed to throwing it out there going, man, I'm pretty sure I could catch a bass. I am going to catch a bass, pretty sure I'm going to catch a bass. And that's really what it boils down to is, do you have that confidence when you put that bait and you lock that bait in your hand, and you know when you're out there and you know you see the bass in that area that you're like, I know I can catch a bass using this technique. And that's really what confidence is having that foreknowledge that, yes, I know I could catch a bass. Now, there's times I've seen it on live scope, and I've seen it, just out there with my own eyes, especially topwater fishing. I'm watching, especially spotted bass are really good at blowing up baits like white bass do. So you'll see them up there just blowing up, and I'm like, I'm going to catch them. So I'm throwing a topwater out there, and I'm like getting it through there. I'm like, I'm really confident in throwing this, but I need to change that bait because I have that confidence knowing that there's something different with the bait presentation that I need to change, whether that be color, whether that be downsizing it or upsizing it in some cases to get them to hit it. But I have the confidence to know when they're not hitting one of my confidence baits to try to figure out, okay, I know they're not hitting it, but why are they not hitting it? And having confidence in your baits and being competent in all the stuff that you're using, working together, helps you land a few more bass. So, one of the tips that I want to give you guys when it comes to confidence, if you are not confident in a bait, but you know it's one of those baits that you probably need to have in your arsenal and need to work on, the best thing that I could tell you, and you'll hear this from other fishermen that are out there, other YouTubers that are out there, is when you go fishing, next time you go fishing, only take that with you. Only take that with you to go fish with. And you fish it, and you fish it, and you fish it. And if you have live scope or you have other electronics where you can see where bass are setting up and you know that there's bass there, lock that in your hand. Get to know the nuances of it so you can become competent with it. Because really that's what it is first you got to become competent in that bait before you can start getting your confidence build up in that bait. So work on the competency first. Get competent with it. Know how that bait reacts. Know how that bait moves through the water. Learn the nuances of it. Then when you're catching the bass, your confidence comes. And once your confidence is there and you have that competency to go with it, man, you're going to be catching more and more bass. Now, you're still going to get those days when you're out there and those bass, they're just finicky. And they're not going to eat anything you throw in front of them. And you're going to come back thinking that you are the world's worst fisherman. And how do I know? Because it's happened to me. And it's funny how that works. Because there'll be days where I'll go out like when I went to Allen Henry and I was just catching them and I had a great day. Well, there's been the other times where I've been going out there and I'm catching them, I'm having a great day. I go back out my next time I go out fishing and I catch nothing. I catch one and I'm on the struggle bus the whole day, even though I'm all around the fish. Because again, we're trying to trick something in nature to hit something that's not real. So, again, guys, confidence. We have to have that as fishermen. Otherwise, why are you even going on the water, right? You have to have confidence in your abilities to go out there and catch fish every time you go out. Now, if there's a bait you want to work on, like I said, build your competency with it, and then your confidence will come the more and more fish you catch. All right, guys, I have rambled a lot about competency and confidence. All right, I'm done rambling. All right, guys, what I would like you to do now is comment down below. What is one technique or one bait that you would like to get more competent with? Something that you really want to gain some competency with. That way your confidence can go up higher and then you can use it to really boat more bass. For me, it's those large baits. I have not got into that bigger swim bait game. I do have a few, but I just haven't really tied that in my hand and went out there. So that's something that I need to work on. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. And until next time, get out and fish with something new and catch some bass. All right, guys, have a great one. And until next Tackle Tip Tuesday, go catch a lot. All right, guys, have a great day.